A wrestling match was held at the Rogers Convention Center tonight in remembrance of a Northwest Arkansas wrestler who was killed earlier this month. 5 News reporter Bo Russell is bringing us the story from Rogers.
Tonight, the Ozark Mountain wrestling community isn't just watching a match. They're gathering to celebrate the life of Kevin Nickel, or as they sometimes knew him, Ivan Warsaw. This event was originally scheduled by Kevin himself before he was found with a gunshot wound on July 11th. At just 41 years old, Nickel was a man who played a large role in his community.
Kevin was the type of man that he would help anybody. He would give you the shirt off of his back even if he didn't have one to give you.
Nickel was in the WWE between 2012 and 2013 when he founded Ozark Mountain Wrestling. According to family and friends, Kevin loved the sport from a very early age.
He always wanted to do wrestling. He used to wrestle in the backyard, and then he started in West Memphis, Arkansas, and just moved up.
His loss is being felt deeply, especially by wrestlers who considered him a friend and mentor. Jason Jones, a professional wrestler who knew Kevin for over 15 years, is one of many in mourning.
He always had a big bear hug for you. He was so great. He was such a mentor and a great teacher and almost a role model and a father figure to a lot of these guys. So he's greatly missed in our community.
Despite immense grief, the wrestlers of Ozark Mountain Wrestling are determined to put on tonight's show.
The guys decided to move on with the show because that's what Kevin would have wanted. And it's been a tough week, but they were determined they were putting the show on.
Tonight, cheers heard in the Rogers Convention Center aren't just for the spectacle. They're a roar of love and remembrance for Kevin Nickel, or as many knew him, Ivan Warsaw. Bo Russell, 5 News.
Well, turning now to the forecast, here's a live look over Bentonville. 5 News forecaster Joshua Weisel is in the Weather Center, and there's really no way to slice it. We're in for some very hot temperatures these next few days, right?
Oh, yeah. It's going to feel a lot more like summer, and you can see there was the Bentonville camera. Now let's take a look at what it's like in Bentonville right now in terms of those temperatures. The sun set, and we're still in the 80s. 82 right now. Feels like 88. So even though that sun set, it's still feeling pretty hot out there. Let's take a look at what's going on in the River Valley, and it's close to 90 what that feels like temperature, actual temperature around 85. So it's hot out there. Even though the sun has set and things are supposed to cool off, it's still pretty warm out there. It'll be kind of the same tomorrow morning as we're going to be into the lower, mid, even some upper 70s in portions of the area. But in the meantime, if you got any sort of plans this evening, anything like that, it's still going to be warm for the time being across the area. As you can see, still some 70s, 80s on the board. As we head to tomorrow morning, we'll be in the mid 70s, northwest Arkansas as we start off, and then upper 70s. So it's going to be a warm start to the day tomorrow morning across the area. So that's a look at the hourly forecast. The main forecast segment coming up, we're going to be talking about hot and humid conditions, mostly dry, and full details on this warm stretch of weather.
All right, thanks, Josh. A Eureka Springs city councilor was accused of a hit and run and abuse of power by a resident during Monday's council meeting. During the public comment portion of the meeting, Ruth Virginia Seymour claimed she had been hit by city councilor Harry Meyer's car on Sunday. Seymour claimed that Meyer had, quote, messed with another neighbor's property. Then she claimed she went to take pictures of the property, and after, Meyer then drove at her. She did not cite any specific injuries, but claimed that the police were investigating the incident. Another neighbor claimed him and Meyer were feuding over each other's property. Meyer said he was moving his truck during the alleged hit-and-run incident. He also said the allegation were acts of harassment. 5 News reached out to Eureka Springs Police, but we haven't heard back yet. A former Northwest Arkansas lawmaker has died today. Uvalde Lindsay was a 2-term state House representative and a 2-term state senator. Before that, he was a city councilor in Harrison for 3 decades. He was also the executive director for the Northwest Arkansas Economic Development District and played a key role in the Highway 412 designation. Lindsay retired from public office in 2018. A service will be held for him in Fayetteville on July 25th. He was 85 years old. Well, in Cave Springs, a night of celebrating conservation and bluegrass music took place at the Madsen Bluegrass Festival. The annual festival happened at the Illinois River Watershed Sanctuary. Guests were also there to see the seasonal emergence of gray bats from their caves. Kids participated in a scavenger hunt and learned more about conservation in a growing Northwest Arkansas region.
Our mission is to improve the integrity of the Illinois River watershed through public education, which is this, and outreach and implementing conservation and restoration practices. Really what we would love for people to leave here with is why is this cave here? Why is this a special place?
The Illinois River Watershed Partnership promotes educational events all year round, and if you're interested, you can check out their events on their website, iwirwp.org. President Trump is suing Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal for billions of dollars for what he says is a false story linking him with Jeffrey Epstein. In a post on social media, he said he's filing a, quote, powerhouse lawsuit against the fake news article. The publisher of the Wall Street Journal said in a statement they're standing by it. The suit comes in a response to a story the Journal published on Thursday containing alleged details of a lewd birthday letter the president allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein in the early 2000s. The paper claims the note was signed by Trump and includes a sketch of a naked woman. Backlash within Trump supporters has grown over the handling of the Epstein case, with many more demanding more information. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are calling for more transparency as well.
I think there should be a full disclosure of the materials on Epstein. Statements by the Attorney General that she had all the issues and reviews on her desk for her to take a look at were kind of a promise to the American people that something was coming, and nothing has come out of it.
Attorney General Pam Bondi filed a motion for the unsealing of grand jury testimony related to Epstein's child sex trafficking charges in New York. That could take months to unseal. Multiple people were injured Saturday morning when a driver plowed into a crowd in Los Angeles. At least 30 people were hurt and 7 of them rushed to nearby hospitals in critical condition.
It happened early Saturday when a driver hit a valet and taco stand, then crashed his car into a crowd lined up outside a Hollywood nightclub. People were left bloodied, dazed, and moaning on the pavement. At least 30 people were hurt, 7 of them critically. Video shows bystanders pulling the driver from the car. When officers arrived, they found him beaten and shot.
We received reports that somebody in the crowd shot him. He is in the custody of Los Angeles Police Department, and we're looking at charges such as attempt murder and assault with a deadly weapon at this point.
It was a massive response, upwards of 100 firefighters on the scene, 25 officers from the LAPD.
Police are searching for the gunman. The driver remains hospitalized. His condition is unknown. Elise Preston, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A 10th victim has died following that fire at an assisted living facility in Massachusetts earlier this week. The district attorney says a 66-year-old woman died at the hospital Friday afternoon. The DA's office initially reported her death on Thursday, but say that report was due to a miscommunication. However, the DA says her death was expected. Roughly 70 people were living there at the facility at the time of the fire, and the cause is still under investigation. The blaze was the deadliest fire in Massachusetts since 1984. Well, 2 weeks ago, floods tore through central Texas. More than 130 people are dead, including dozens of children. The Kerr County Sheriff's Office search and rescue efforts will likely take months to find the missing, but the healing continues, and Lee Waldman tells us what the resources are in place to help Texas grieve through the tragedy.
In Kerrville, Texas, a fence is lined with the faces of those stolen by floodwaters on the 4th of July. The community has come together to grieve, to mourn, to pray.
They're not numbers. You know, they're little girls and men and mothers and fathers.
The Children's Bereavement Center of South Texas is in Kerr County helping families begin conversations with their children about loss.
The bulk of our phone calls are caregivers who are just really concerned about how to support their children through all of this tragedy.
Bereavement Center CEO Christina Hernandez says parents and caregivers should keep a close eye on their kids to look for manifestations of their grief.
Kids might have stomach aches, they might have headaches, They might have a decrease in appetite or maybe some trouble sleeping. All of that is totally normal. I think it's helpful to not allow kids to isolate.
Even if someone doesn't know anyone who is lost directly, these natural disasters can cause a rippling impact.
It destabilizes their sense of security and safety.
Hernandez wants families to know that grief can reappear as more time passes.
Knowing that it's okay to seek help, even if it's years down the road, because grief will come back. We know that.
In an apparent reversal, the Trump administration is moving forward with a critical flash flood risk database. That's according to a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration official and an internal email. The database would, for the first time, take climate change into account when making precipitation frequency estimates. It would also help people understand their risk for flash flooding and assist civil engineers and builders with construction and infrastructure projects. The move comes after it was reported earlier this week that the administration had paused work on the project.